Welcome for the most exciting part of the day, the skid lock demonstration. So with skid lock is our unique water-based palletizing adhesive system. It's applied on the top of a case or a plastic bag, depending on the item. And it, as you stack one item on top of another, it forms a bond that has high shear strength, which protects the load from side to side as it moves, and low tensile strength. So when the end user receives the item, they can pick it up straight off the pallet without damaging the box. We have some customers who use a simple squeeze bottle. For low volume product, it works perfectly well, also for testing. And we have instructions on how to do this. It's pretty simple. This formula is Skid Lock Plus, so you can see this is not the most accurate way to apply it, but this product generally has a fair amount of leeway so that if you put a little too much on, especially for corrugated boxes, it's not gonna be a problem. So the idea is we wanna put 2 strips of adhesive on each box. If the box didn't have full fill, you might wanna put it closer to the edge to make sure you're gonna get good contact from carton to carton. So for people who have manual palletizing or fully automatic palletizing, we have a skid lock applicator system. This is a brand new system that we've just developed. It's about the simplest system that we could come up with that still applies adhesive onto every carton except the top layer. You can program it so that it eliminates glue from the top layer, or the palletizer can send the signal to the system not to spray, which is really the ideal system because then the palletizer is in control of everything. This is usually put on the speed up conveyor right before the palletizer. And another advantage this system has is that if the speed up conveyor should stop in front of both photo eyes, in theory it could continue to apply adhesive, but it will stop when it gets to the amount it applied on the previous box. But you can also send the dry signal from the motor from the conveyor so that it stops it immediately. So we have on this system here, this is turned off now. There's 2 photo eyes. When the first photo eye sees an item, nothing happens. But when the second photo eye sees the item, that's when it applies product. And when the item passes the first photo eye, it stops applying the product. So in the off mode, nothing will happen. We can also put it in test mode. And in test mode, if you just put your hand in front of the photo eye number 2, it will apply product just for testing when you're initially setting it up. So I'm going to put it in the automatic mode. Right now, this is set up to glue every box in a consistent end-to-end pattern. So this is our PAT sprayer. PAT is our pneumatic adhesive tank, and we can set it up for extrusion. This happens to be set up for spray. There's a control on the bottom here that controls the atomizing air, and then there's a trigger control here. If the trigger is turned all the way off, it just applies air. When you have a partial squeeze, only air comes out. But when you squeeze it completely, you get a spray of adhesive. This is a great way to apply SL Poly 2B because it gives you a nice controllable spray and the valve doesn't clog. At the end of the day, we do recommend a little petroleum jelly on the tip, but this valve generally doesn't clog even with the Poly 2B. So the farther away you are, of course, the wider it'll be. You want to generally be about 3 or 4 inches away from the item as you're applying it. So if I turn off the atomizing air, completely, I'm still getting a little air, but you can see it's much less atomizing or much more. So you have a lot of control on this. This is a very simple spray valve, spray system, hand sprayer. And the nice thing about this, again, at the end of the day, you really do nothing. Put petroleum jelly on the tip and that's it. Easy maintenance. Every product can be used with this. But you really need to spray SL Poly 2B because you want to put a really thin film on so it dries quickly. So the tank is rated to 125 PSI. The burst pressure is 4 times that. There's a safety relief valve. If you get to 125 PSI, it's going to go up automatically. So I'm just releasing the air. and that's all there is to it.